Hey guys, this is Mark from Mark Melbourne. In this video, I want to firstly touch on a few altcoin setups that I'm looking at the moment, run through some of the setups that have played out, and then bring up a few charts and then stick around because at the end of the video, I sort of want to talk to you about a strategy in buying or looking for setups for altcoins. Hey guys, and welcome. So quickly, just going through the coins, it has been an incredible sort of 12 or 13 days of February. We've seen a lot of coins over the last 7 days, sort of go up around 30 to 50%. One of the standouts obviously being Tezos at 38% alone in just the last 7 days. Sort of topping out a little earlier before Bitcoin had retraced. But as a whole, look at this, a lot of money has flown into large caps, as you can sort of see, ranging anywhere from sort of 5% all the way up to 38%, which is incredible. Dash, an early sort of one of the large caps that sort of had a big, nice increase at the start, has started to sort of settle a little bit. Giving space to coins like Ethereum, which is kind of a front runner. We're seeing some of that money go into Cardano now, as well as Stellar. We're probably we waited a long time to see Monero start moving. A lot of people expected Monero to start moving after Dash had such an incredible run, and just privacy coins in general. And I think a lot of people sort of generally believe during these cycles you'll see a lot of money flow from large caps onto sort of mid caps and then small caps. So there's a bit of truth to that. It is another thing to sort of look at is similar coins that often pump together and see if you can sort of pick up any trends, and then betting on the laggard. Moving on, looking at Bitcoin dominance, we can see that this break from around 74% has really sort of given some space for altcoins to start moving. We first saw the move in January, and then it's really started to drop off here. A lot of people sort of think that maybe if this continues, we'll continue to see altcoins rally for at least the next couple of weeks. But obviously, because we've had such an incredible run, I think a lot of people are still in disbelief. But this is definitely where people are starting to pay attention to altcoins and looking at good setups. But obviously, Bitcoin is a big bad boss. So when Bitcoin starts moving, a lot of setups become invalidated. So I would recommend, if you're really big into profits, not necessarily to cash out and sell a lot of your coins, but to do what a lot of people do in legacy markets, and that's setting trailing stop losses, or in other words, just keep raising your stop losses as your coin continues to print green candles, so to speak. Looking at Bitcoin specifically, we've seen it sort of rally, break up from this 9800. A lot of people sort of expecting a further retrace. It prints a big candle like Bitcoin does in its normal fashion. Then we've seen a lot of sort of a lot of expectation, people thinking that we'll move up to sort of this 10,700 and then 11,500. Obviously we had a bit of a fake out here at about 10,500, and this massive candle down here where we've dropped just below 10,000. I'd say depending on how this candle closes, if we can close above 10,200 again, that would be really good. And on the sort of low side, I think we'll see a further retrace if this 9,800 level doesn't hold. So that's Bitcoin at the moment. Some of the setups I'm looking at the moment, or the ones that have played out for me, is Link, for example. I first started accumulating this one at around 2,700 sats. with the target of the all-time high around 3,900. But obviously being a little less greedy will often be, you'll be rewarded for it. So I started taking some profits around the Fibonacci point, so this 0.618. I took some profits at 33,500 and then again at 3,600. Had half my stack that I'm still holding. I think up until Bitcoin sort of dropped there, this 3,800 area looks like sort of a nice area for retest, and then potentially going up to this next Fibonacci point around 50,000 sats, and my target here would be around 48,000. So that's Link. It's had a pretty incredible run. You can see from I got in around 2,700. You probably could have had a more aggressive entry around 2,500, but even with my entry, it's been a 40% increase, so that's pretty incredible for Link. Moving on to sort of small coins that are sort of attractive at the moment. You want to start looking at coins that are lagging, right? So coins that have already had 30, 40, 50% increase. Those aren't the coins that you want to look at buying, because there's obviously while there might still be upside, there obviously is more potential downside when Bitcoin sort of shits itself. So looking at this, you've got an entry anywhere between this is the weekly, but if we kind of look at this, an entry between sort of 6,000 and 7,500. Look at this. So if it goes back up to 50,000, that's going to be obviously that's going to be nearly a 10 to 12x from where the prices is now. I obviously wouldn't recommend going stupid crazy on this, but looking for these kind of setups, and there's a lot of them, right? Whereas if you look at Ethereum, for example, we had plenty of opportunities to buy between 19,500 and then again when it broke out of the 0.02 sats, and since then we've just seen 2 weeks of gains basically. So I personally wouldn't be buying Ethereum here. Obviously it can still rally and looks really strong, but I'd be looking for a pullback to at least the 2300 and ideally the 2200 region for another buy. So I'm not going to be buying Ethereum, even though I'm a big believer in it. The other coin that I've sort of followed was Tezos, which has been a standout. We've seen something like a 70% increase from the bottom. I am looking at the USD pair. Obviously it's in price discovery. It's been in price discovery ever since around the $2 mark, topping out at just under $4. We're going to retrace here. If you're looking for an entry, I'd say around $2.60 for an aggressive entry, but honestly I probably wouldn't be buying back into this until $1.90, to be honest, just because it's had such an incredible increase. If you're holding at the moment, obviously set your stops, but that's my thoughts on that. In terms of XTZ or Tezos Bitcoin pairing, I got this one in around 1770, so just around here, and I sold most of mine around 2700. So it's been a 53% increase, but to be honest, I did sell most of it just before this pump at 24,000 sats, and then again most of it here 27,000 or 26,000. I do have a moon bag, which is 10-15%, but to see it continue rising up has sort of been disappointing. But profit is profit, and you move on. So looking at what I was sort of mentioned earlier is when you're looking at coins that tend to increase together, you should look at purchasing or looking for setups for the coin that is lagging behind. So for example, here we can see that Stellar was consolidating between 720 and 700. It's finally broken out to the 800 sat region. XRP was lagging yesterday. Obviously it's gone up about 14 or 15%, and this one was a laggard, so a really good entry around 2800 was good yesterday. I bought a small bag. Obviously I kind of wish I went more aggressive, but I just was a little bit trigger shy because I just wasn't sure where Bitcoin was going. So anyway, so that's sort of my tip. Look for the laggard in coins that tend to increase together. The other tip I have is, a lot of altcoins, especially on the daily, you look at them, they're coming out of this, they're starting to come out of this, multi-month resistance area, and as soon as they kind of test the resistance, they tend to break out to the upside. So if you buy coins here that haven't really had a big increase, there's going to be much less risk to the downside and more bigger gains potentially to the upside. So look for coins like this. I've got some fetch here, and another setup I'm kind of looking at the moment is Neo. So Neo is starting to break out. I'm not going to go into this too much, but I probably would expect Neo to do really well here, and an entry anywhere from $14 to even right now at $15 is probably not a bad idea. Monero is another one that I bought in at around 7,500 sats, but I've been waiting on this one for it feels like a while. This is finally broken up to the upside. My short-term target is, I think the first point of resistance is around 100,000 sats, but I'm going to try to take profits around 98,000, and even again here at 9,200. So 9,200 is the first point I'll take some profits, again at 100 for the full target. Algo is also another sort of one with massive potential back to the upside, especially on the USD pair. Just look at that. So at the very top, obviously this is in July, so to the upside you got $3.40 potentially, and it's currently sitting at 41 cents. Obviously it's had a massive candle in the past week, breaking out from 25 cents, so yes, it is up around 50%, but I think there's still plenty of upside, so this one's definitely one to keep your eye on. I'm going to sort of wrap it up at that. Hopefully you guys get something out of it. I'd love to know what you guys are currently looking at, whether it's mid caps and small caps, and I'm going to make a separate video touching on portfolio allocation, especially in a bull market. While in a bear market, it makes sense to hold predominantly, if not 90 or 80% of your holdings in Bitcoin, and then the remaining sort of playing altcoin setups and having sort of stops and sort of sticking to your trading rules and all that sort of stuff. I think in the current market you can probably be a little bit looser. That doesn't mean that you should be 100% in alts, even if you've got a small portfolio, but that's something I'll cover in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks very much. Bye.